I'm Jeff Philbin with an important question. Do you believe in signs from the universe? How about neon signs on a wall? According to that one, it's time for Dinner DeeAs, which means it's a new idea for dinner just for you. Today, 2 Italian culinary classics. Panzanella, a salad showcasing bread, tomatoes, and in this version, melon, plus a delightful light dessert of olive oil cake. Joining me in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen to share her tips on how to make dinner and dessert is Chef Caitlin Dingarian, Executive Chef of Bistro at Sarasota Museum of Ring and College. Welcome to the Dinner DeeAs kitchen.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited to have you here because Chef Caitlin is a veteran of top-rated Italian restaurants in New York and San Francisco and is sharing 2 recipes with us today. A Panzanella Italian bread salad with watermelon, ricotta, and other tasty treats, plus a cake that she's described as her specialty. And it's one that is absolutely notable because it has the absence of butter.
No butter.
No butter.
No butter. It's super light, perfect for any season. You can mix it with anything. And the best part about it is it's so easy to make.
Okay. I love cake.
Okay.
I love eating cake.
Okay.
I sometimes don't like the whole process of making cake.
Right.
But you're going to help us all make cake together.
Yep.
In a fun way.
Fun way, no mixer, by hand, very easy.
Old school.
Yes.
Let's get right into it.
Okay, perfect.
What do we need to do?
So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the eggs.
Okay.
So we're just gonna crack 2 eggs in a bowl.
Okay. And so you're going egg yolk and egg white here.
Yep, whole thing.
Okay.
You want the egg white to fluff it up a little bit, and then we're gonna add just a little bit of sugar.
Just a little bit of sugar.
It's good.
It's
I like
good.
sugar. You know, it's cake. You want
cake.
sugar.
You gotta have a little bit of sweet behind. You gotta have a little bit.
And then we're just gonna kind of mix that together. You know, and the best thing about this cake is there's no over mixing or under mixing. Nothing needs to be precise. You know, I am an Italian chef. Baking is not my specialty.
See, that's my whole thing too. I like cooking and I like being around to be able to taste things I'm so going. There is a science. There is an appreciation and respect for it. But I don't have the patience sometimes to do it.
I'm not that good at it. I don't like to measure things. I kind of like to throw things together. So, but that's why this cake is perfect.
But this is why it's so forgiving of a cake. So
it's
anybody at home could be able to just say, hey, my skill set might not be like the next big cake artist.
You're just mixing it super easy.
I love it.
And so then the next thing, we're gonna add all the wet ingredients first. So a little bit of milk.
A little bit of milk. Whole milk we're using?
Whole milk, always whole milk.
Always whole milk?
Yeah, I usually always use whole milk. It's just, it works better with all the ingredients.
Okay.
And there's no butter, so you want a little bit of fat.
So you get that little bit of fat content behind that. Okay.
Then this is kind of like your acid. I use Vinsanto, which is a fortified Italian wine.
What does it taste like? Where do you find it? What is Vinsanto?
You can find it at any really liquor, like specialty liquor store.
Okay.
It is like a sun-ripened fortified Italian wine.
Okay.
It's going to be a little bit sweeter.
So would it be more on like a dessert wine side? And that's why it complements this so well. So this is not one where it's like, hey, I like a sweet red wine.
Right.
No, you need to have like truly a sweet dessert wine for this particular dish.
And what I tell people about this dish too is the olive oil is a really great flavor. You can put whatever liquor you really love in here. Dark rum is delicious. Red vermouth is delicious. You know, when people always say chefs, like, we have secrets, right? And they don't know how to do them at home. But really, it's just like, cook what you like. If you like rum, put rum in it. If you like, you know, vermouth, put vermouth in it.
Just have some fun with it.
Just have some fun with it. So then the last thing we're gonna add is the olive oil. Don't worry if the olive oil doesn't combine completely. It's not a problem. We're gonna sift some dry ingredients into it next so it'll mix all together.
What type of olive oil do you like to use for this one? And how
question.
important is it to find the right olive oil for this?
So I use Frantoia, which is a brand of olive oil I've always used. It's gonna be like a medium. It's not gonna be, new olive oils are really grassy and green and spicy.
And they have the spicy behind it.
Yeah, and you really don't want that. You want, this is what I call like almost like a mellow olive oil. You want it to taste like it is olive oil, but you don't need any spice or greenery behind it.
All right, so we've got our wet ingredients all together here. So what do we need to do next?
We're gonna move to our dry. We're gonna put just a little bit of baking soda in the flour, and then I am an Italian chef, so I never cook sweet without salt. So we always put salt.
How important and why is that? What is, you know, you're saying I always do, but someone at home is like, I never heard that. I don't know how to do it.
I always put a little pinch of salt in anything I'm baking that's sweet because it balances it. You don't want it to be salty. Like you saw the amount that I put in here. It was just a
little
pinch, but you want to be able to balance some flavor. You saw how much sugar was in there. So a little bit of salt on the back end kind of like rounds the palate out. It makes you want to keep eating whatever it is you're eating. You want to help me sift?
I'd love to.
This one's the easy part. So all we're gonna do now, here you can get this. And I'll help you. And then we're just gonna sift into the dry. And this, here, you wanna do this?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. And this is really just to make it light and airy and fluffy. You know, you almost always wanna sift your ingredients. You've got that baking soda in there, so you want that to kind of combine throughout everything. And this, honestly, is the hardest step of the whole thing, so we're really lucky.
And this is just that. We're just gonna bring this all together.
Exactly.
Bring it all through. And you just wanna have that wire mesh, and then just slowly bring it through. How important is it for this process right here? Because so many people would think, oh, hey, I'm just going to get the KitchenAid, just bring everything together and just,
The number one thing that this is going to prevent you is from having a lumpy cake. And you don't want a lumpy cake. You don't want to,
no one wants a lumpy cake.
No one wants
you
a
don't
lumpy
deserve
cake.
a lumpy cake, folks. No one wants a lumpy cake.
So it kind of really combines it so that there's no lumps in it.
Okay.
I'll add a little bit more for you.
And that's cool to be able to do it in batches. Like, don't over crowd what you may be using as the size of your mesh strainer here.
And that should be good.
For this beautiful butter-free bake, visit dinnerdias.com. We have everything you need ready to print. Find us on your phone right now. I'm giving you permission. All you need to do, just open the camera, point at the QR code down there in the corner. That gives you a link which brings you right to our site.
I'll get this for you.
All right, very good.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the only thing we need left to do is to whisk it.
Is the whisk it. Okay.
That's it. You want to do it?
Sure. All right, so we're just going to whisk everything together.
Yep, and this cake you do not have to worry about over mixing or under mixing. You're just mixing until it's completely combined. So I'm just gonna get a little pan. I'm gonna spray everything down, like to cover nice and evenly all the way through the bottom. And then that's it.
All right, you think this is all well incorporated?
Perfect.
All
It
right.
looks great.
And then we'll just go straight in.
Straight in.
Straight in.
Super easy. And that batter is that consistency is perfect. That's just what you're looking for, just combined all together.
All right, well, our cake's got to bake, so we've got to take a break. But when we come back, a summer salad from Italy, which tastes great any time of the year. Ahead, Dinner Dias. Welcome back to Dinner Dias. Today, more proof that the Italians have really just wanted food despite our best efforts with the hot dog. Here sharing 2 Italian dishes that you'll want for dinner and dessert is Chef Caitlin Dengarian from Bistro at Sarasota Art Museum, and she's about to show us how she makes a panzanella salad with bread, tomatoes, and so much more, plus an olive oil cake which is baking over there in the oven. Before the break, we started that very cake, whisking eggs and sugar, then adding milk, Vinsanto, which is an Italian dessert wine, the very important olive oil, then sifting our dry ingredients of flour, baking soda, and salt, combining it all, and that all went into the oven for about half an hour, which now gives us some time to play with this beautiful panzanella salad.
Yes, yes. So, the one thing I love about panzanella is one of the best ingredients is just like day-old bread. It's used for day-old bread. Like, we all have day-old bread. We can never finish the bread. Sometimes I can.
Okay.
But you can use an Italian loaf, a sourdough, whatever you've got.
Sure.
But any day-old baguette is perfect.
Okay.
So the first thing, I like to tear it by hand. It's just a preference. I like to look rustic.
Okay. Can I help you with this part? 'Cause
Please.
I love breaking bread.
Okay,
right?
good.
I mean, that's
good.
just the joy of bringing everyone together.
Good.
It's truly breaking bread.
Perfect. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna break a couple pieces up.
And what type of bread do we have here?
This is an Italian loaf, so usually it's like you'll see it's kind of like a denser, there's less air bubbles on it, and
What's your favorite bread?
I'm partial Italian.
Okay.
Italian loaf. Or baguette.
Okay.
Or focaccia. I like bread.
Now, let me ask you this too. Is there an optimal size that you want to be able to have?
No, these are perfect.
Those-
it really
okay.
is. And we're using these beautiful heirlooms, which we're going to cut in larger chunks. So really your ratio needs to be, if you were using cherry tomatoes, you'd want something smaller.
Okay.
But these are perfect. So we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil. Actually, I use blended oil for this. And then we're just going to pop this in the oven at 350 and let it toast. Put our nice little pan, stretch it out. And that is it.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so now the good part.
Dressing.
The dressing. So I always start with shallots, whole shallots, right in the Vitamix.
Okay.
I make it in the Vitamix because it's super easy.
Okay.
A little bit of honey for sweetness.
Okay.
And it kind of emulsifies it as well, so you don't have super broken.
Very nice.
If you break your vinaigrette, nobody cares. You're eating it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You know.
All right. This is a very forgiving then. So the cake is very forgiving.
Yeah.
The salad dressing is going to be very forgiving. So
Yeah.
anybody at home, you got this, folks. You got this.
You can
We
make
got
it.
this for you.
We got it.
We believe in you right now. All right.
So a pinch of salt.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go ahead and put the vinegar in.
Okay.
So I'm using a white balsamic today, but like I said, you can use really whatever you'd like.
Is there any type of vinegar that you do not want to use for it?
It depends on what you're doing. You can use rice wine, you can use red wine. It really is
You
kind
can
of,
even go as far as a balsamic vinegar in this if you wanted to.
Yeah, I would just not use an expensive balsamic vinegar or a thick balsamic vinegar.
Okay.
Because those are usually a little bit nicer.
Okay.
And you want to use it as finishing, not
Okay.
so much as the dressing.
Very good.
So we're gonna pop this on really quick and then turn it up a little bit. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna combine a little bit of the olive oil right into there. So you just, I put it in a squirt bottle so it's so easy, you don't have to worry about it. You can squirt it right in. But if you're doing it out of a jar or something like that, just make sure you put it in a little slowly. You don't want to put it all in at once because then that'll break your dressing. But again, don't worry too much about it if it does break. It's not going to hurt you at all. There you go, nice and combined.
To make this beautiful bread salad for your dinner tonight, just grab Chef Caitlin's recipe from our website, dinnerdeas.com. It has everything you need. You can even read along while you watch with your phone. Just scan the QR code to find us.
So we've got our dressing,
All right.
our bread's toasting, so let's talk about the tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, heirloom tomatoes, we live in Florida. We are so lucky. We have beautiful heirloom tomatoes. And so I usually get these from the store. I pick them out. I love the different colors.
Does that change the profile for what you're tasting?
It does a little bit. So a yellow tomato is always going to be lower acid, right? So you're always going to have a less acidic tomato. If it's yellow, that's kind of how they were, you know, for lack of a better term, bred over the years. A red tomato is usually going to be a little bit higher acid, and these, they're usually like a green zebra, are just a beautiful bright flavor, and you see they're still red in the inside. But an heirloom tomato is just a superior tomato. They're just beautiful and they taste wonderful and they're best in the middle of the summer. So for the Panzanella salad, I cut them, you know, like this size, and I like to use a little bit of it's Maldon salt, so it's country sea salt, and I salt them ahead of time because the best thing about the Panzanella is you're using this old bread, so it's going to soak up a lot of the juice. So you want the tomatoes to kind of like drop a little bit of their juice before we combine everything into it.
Okay, so that's going to help bring out some of the liquids behind it. So that way then it really brings out even more imparting of flavor.
Exactly. So we'll put these beautiful guys in here. We'll let them sit. And then we will move on to the melon. So melon, I love melon. Watermelon in the summer is great. And I love to eat melon ball melon because I just think it's fun. It's a different way. People are always excited to see it. So I'm going to show you how to melon ball.
All right, please.
Very easy, very easy.
Very cool.
So you're just going to get one of these melon ballers. You can buy these at Publix, Walmart, wherever. And you're going to push it down and then you're going to spin it all the way around. And it gives you this just cute little ball. And you're just going to pop it right in here. And
so you just dig right in.
Dig right in.
And then just literally turn it all the way around.
Perfect.
And then just go straight in.
Go straight in with the juices and everything because it's perfect.
Now, let me ask you this. I see all these beautiful melons over here that we have too. Could you, in theory, freeze them, bring them into a cocktail, and even have more fun with them too?
Yes.
Like, it's just going to have like that fruity kind of like
it's
fun.
amazing. Yeah, you can do them on desserts. You can put them on, they could go on olive oil cake if they were frozen.
Come on now.
They're really great and they just like, you know, they really say summer. A lot of times what I also do with this salad is instead of melon, I'll use stone fruit. So it's really whatever's best in season, you know, like don't limit yourself to, you know, just a couple of things. Peaches and nectarines and apricots are delicious with tomatoes too.
So what you're saying is play with the season.
Yes.
Play with what you find.
Yeah.
And more importantly, play with what you like.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, we're having a ball, but now we must take a break. When we come back, cake time, plus how this all becomes a salad that you'll want for dinner ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We've been doing dinner and baking, cake with Chef Caitlin Dengarian, a Tampa native who studied at Manhattan's French Culinary Institute and is now back in her home state running Bistro at Sarasota Museum of Art. She's been sharing some of her specialties with us today, making panzanella, an Italian salad plus an olive oil cake. Before the break, we prepped our panzanella, tearing up and toasting bread, then making a dressing by combining shallots, honey, Dijon mustard, white balsamic vinegar, and oil. And then we sliced and salted some heirloom tomatoes and got our melon ballers to work on some watermelon because the salad's not done just yet.
No. So we've got our bread. It's nice and toasted. You see it doesn't need to be too dark. You're using that Dale bread, so you want it to be a little soft in the middle.
Okay.
So we're just going to toss some right in the bowl. I would do as much as you like, but I like that. You don't need a ton of bread. It's going to soak up really nicely.
Okay.
And then we have these beautiful melon balls that you did, which I love. Again, a little honeydew, cantaloupe, just a couple of it, whatever you like. I always do a little bit of red onion. I like the bite of a red onion. I like the crunch of it.
Okay.
I like the savory element because you've got all this melon.
Sure.
Tomato can really go either way, so it kind of just breaks it up a little bit.
Very nice.
Do a little bit of that. And then cucumber is going to be like that nice crunch, herbal salinity right in the back.
Very cool.
And a pop of green never hurt, you know.
Never hurts.
So we're going to take that. Then we're going to pour just a little of this beautiful dressing that we made. Doesn't need a lot because you've got that juice going in there.
And you can always add more.
You could
always add more.
Always add more.
But you don't want to be swimming in all of that beautiful vinaigrette.
Exactly. So
now with that vinaigrette, you could put that in a jar, you could put that in put it right into your shelf too.
Exactly. Put it right on your shelf. It's good to go. So we're going to mix this up. I like to add just a little bit of torn basil.
Okay.
Again, basil and tomatoes. You really can't go wrong with basil and tomatoes. And it adds a nice bright element. Sometimes I put it on top. Sometimes I top it. But we're just going to add just to tear it last minute. And once you tear it, it kind of like releases all those smells and oils. So it's really nice instead of like cutting it just to tear it right at the end.
Very nice.
And that is it. Then we're going to take it right over here. We're going to plate it in our bowl.
Okay.
And then you can make this ahead of time. It can sit in the fridge for a little while. It's got all that bread, the tomatoes. It's really delicious. And then to finish it, I love to use a sharp cheese to finish it. So
a sharp cheese, because this is absolutely beautiful. It's very colorful.
Yeah, you could absolutely step away right now and leave it, and it would be perfectly fine. But I can't help myself.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what Italian is going to, or the right will mind be like, oh yeah, I'm going to just walk away right now from just going with that little bit more.
So I use ricotta salata, which is just ricotta that's pressed. So it's a sheep smoked cheese, and it's just dry and hung and pressed. So it's the same thing as ricotta. It just looks fancier.
And that's going to bring out a nice little bit of salinity behind it too. Exactly. That's going to bring that saltiness that you want. Yes. That's just going to be able to just kind of accentuate all the sweet little bursts that you have there.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now.
It's perfect. And I like to use just like a regular peeler. Honestly, it just looks pretty, you know.
How much of that influences you? Because, you know, you've got the museum, you've got everything that's happening with art.
Yes.
To say, hey, look, I'm my own artist and my own take too. And food is your ability to actually translate something.
And you know, you don't want somebody to come into a restaurant that's in a beautiful art museum and then the food's not beautiful.
It's got to be part of that full experience.
You eat with your eyes first. I always tell my chefs, you know, you eat with your eyes first. So like, if it's not beautiful on the plate, you've lost a step already.
You've absolutely lost that step, but you don't need to, because to have the perfect panzanella for your dinner, we've already shown you everything you need to know. Just grab the recipe over at dinnerdeas.com, scan the QR code to get there. All right. Looks like we got dinner.
We've got it. Now we need dessert.
We need dessert.
Now we need dessert. So we've got our beautiful olive oil cake. It's rested. It's ready to go.
Okay.
Super easy. We're just going to cut a slice. You can... You know, I always tell people the same thing, like whatever you want to put this. If you like a la mode and you want ice cream with your cake, do ice cream. If you like, you know, whipped cream, do whipped cream. Sometimes I use whipped creme fraiche too. It's really whatever you love.
It's really whatever you want.
Yeah. And berries. I love berries with it. This is going to be more of the consistency of like a pound cake.
Okay.
So you want something to brighten it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a little bit of strawberries and a couple blackberries. And then I like to finish it just with a little bit, our same handy dandy sifter, and just a little bit of powdered sugar right on top.
Look at that.
And that's it. You're totally done. Easy, easy.
Oh, it's so amazing. Right? Look at that. I can't wait, because when we come back, it's taste testing time for this duo of dishes ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We're eating Italian today with Chef Caitlin Dungarian from Bistro at Sarasota Art Museum of Ringling College. She's been sharing 2 of her favorite recipes with us: panzanella, a salad with bread, tomatoes, and melon, plus an olive oil cake. It's a work of art.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You ready to dig in?
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay.
The great thing about this salad is if you wanted to add a grilled protein to it, you could.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes in the summertime, if I have shrimp, I'll put shrimp on it as well. So I just saw that it's light and crunchy. It's got all of the things.
You know, and what's also really nice is that we have this beautiful cake.
Yes.
That has just literally been just like staring at me to go like, please eat me, eat
Just
me.
a little taste.
Just a little bit.
So-
With no butter.
No.
Just a really good olive oil.
I love it.
Now, this is something that, like, everybody in the family can get together. So,
Absolutely.
you have fun in the kitchen with your family?
Oh my gosh, I love my boys. Are 5 and 6.
Okay. What are their names?
They're Jack and James. They absolutely.
Oh, look at that. Are these like your little sous chefs in the
They
kitchen
are
with you?
my little sous chefs. They love to cook. We're
Okay.
actually making polenta right there. We're grinding the corn. So.
Okay, but they're not doing that alone. Who's the big kid over there?
That's my husband, John. So he always supervises.
Okay.
He watches out. He gets Band-Aids if we need them.
Okay.
Soup is really popular at my house.
Really?
Because you can throw all of their cut ingredients into a pot.
Okay, so then they
and
feel
cover it with broth, and it's perfect.
and they feel like they're a part of the entire process.
Yeah, so now my kids, I'm like, what do you want for dinner? They're like, soup, mama. And so we go and we make soup. I make matzo ball soup all the time with
That's
them.
so cool.
Yeah, they
That's
love
so cool. They doing the olive oil cake though with you?
We haven't tried this yet, but they love spraying Pam spray anywhere they can.
All right.
So we do make a lot of cakes at home.
Sounds like a plan. This is one that the kids and they should be getting.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
one that
it's
you
easy,
should
it's
also be
easy.
getting into.
Yeah.
Thanks again to Chef Caitlin. Find a link to Bistro and her recipes at dinnerdeas.com. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more Dinner DeeAs.